has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seed, a bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion trigger up, stupid. Hey, along with the Tutty and Tater King, the founder of the ILC podcast, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, and the Put It With the Golf Wednesdays guru, Carver High this afternoon, ladies. Mafia running it along with Luke, I am your father. The rundown on a Thirsty Thursday. A double shot with Morency from British Columbia this very hour. Plus, at the bottom of the hour, Jeremy Kahn from The Fan in Baltimore talking about the Ravens. And Carver High is not a fan, as the Bills are getting ready for the Ravens in Orchard Park on Sunday night. He's not having any of this Jeremy Kahn stuff. You might as well have James Kahn on the show. Later, a double shot in the final hour with Adam Kaplan, our NFL Insider Plus. Bust a cap in your ass, as Adam will give you his spread picks for the divisional round this weekend and anything else that's going on in terms of injuries going into these divisional games, la-di-da. Tonight, Cavs and Thunder in Oak City. I think it'll be return of serve tonight, Carver High. I think Shea Gilgeous and company, they lost to the Rocket in Cleveland. I think it's their turn tonight.
Yeah, happy Thursday here on Coast to Coast. And you mentioned it. I like Jeremy. I don't need Khan coming in here today and throwing all this Raven propaganda all over the place. Like, I mean, dude, talk about things I don't need. Listening to him. Listen. Well, Jeremy's a good dude. Unlike some of these Raven fans, these Raven and Bill fans they're trying to kill each other on social media. So that's we need the game to end just for that at this point. Cavs and Thunder, you are right. Return serve. They played last week in Cleveland. They'll play tonight in Oklahoma City. So big game. Thunder only 2.5 tonight. 232.5. Remember, that was a high scoring game they played last week in Cleveland. They got up into the 240s, 250s. So could be fun tonight. And it's on TV. You can watch it. First game of the TV doubleheader. Exciting stuff. Twice in 1 week, really, in a week and a day, that you get to see the two best in the NBA.
Well, I'm gonna catch some of it. I'm going to a high school game at 7 East to see Chop play. And then when I get home from that, I'm sure I'll catch the second half of the Thunder and Cavs. But I'll keep an eye on it when I'm there. I'm looking forward to it. I'm on Shea Gilgeous. I'm on the Thunder tonight. I'm on the over tonight again. So let's get it on.
Yeah, we got practice tonight too for Olivia. So
hoops.
she's got hoops tonight. You had hoops last night. Had a game last night. Practice tonight. I think she had the only 2 buckets for the team last night as well in their game. So remember, second and third graders not exactly hitting the over in those games. That's for sure.
I bet the under.
Out. I would as well. We'll go through all the stuff from last night as well. On the hardwood, Knicks had to go to overtime, but they ended up beating the Sixers. Giannis had a triple-double. So much for the Hawks not playing anybody last night either, as they won by like 15 in Chicago. Nice effort by the Bulls. You're right. They probably should have fired Donovan after last night's game.
That guy keeps his job. Honestly. He
I don't know.
has done nothing but lose in Chicago. That's it. That's all there is.
Nothing.
He's a college coach.
He's a college coach. Impressive win by the Rockets, too, in Denver last night. They won by like 20, and they're in Sacramento tonight against the Kings. And that game's on. That's the nightcap game. It's on TV after the Thunder and the Cavs. So you get to watch the Rockets, who are 27-12, and playing some really good ball right now. So you've got a lot of NBA that you can get to. Of course, we are closer to divisional playoff weekend. It's tough, man, when there's only 4 games left. We're excited for these 4 days, but we spent, we're just like, let's get to the games at this point, right? Me and you always feel this way. We spend all week talking. We're down to 4 games, the same 4 games that we're talking about. Let's go and kick the ball off. Enough of the talking, and it's only Thursday. We still have another day to get through tomorrow.
I'm getting twisted reviews. I'm hearing, I listen and people, they're talking and whatever. And today I got a lot of that Mahomes is going to light up Houston and they're going to beat them easily. And then I heard that the Lions Saturday night are going to crush the Commanders and that'll be the end of Jaden Daniels and all the talk about how great he is. And I'm like, well, first of all, with that game, I have a serious issue with that. I do not believe that he's getting schooled on Saturday night. I think he's going to deliver some of those blows. And I think that, look, if that guy goes out and scores first and they're getting 9.5, I'm interested real quickly in what they're going to do in this game. I think they need to strike first. They cannot let Detroit go down the field and score and get down. They need to be the ones that come out and punch first. And then as far as Houston goes, yesterday I'm like 8.5. Now it moved to 8, right? So 8.5. I was like, all right, give me the Texans and the under. Let's get a game here at Arrowhead. Let's get, Will Anderson and company. Let's rough him up. Let's get to him. Put him on the ground hard. And then, people said today that'll never happen. That he won't even get sacked once. And that he'll his divisional numbers in his career are so remarkable that literally he's the greatest. There's Brady and then there's Mahomes. Mahomes is putting up numbers in the divisional round where he's like 16 touchdowns, no picks, and outrageous yardage, everything else. He just lights it up. And I think it's predicated on the fact that the guy has always got a bye and he's always got a week off, and he's always got the crappiest team coming in to play him. They play the lowest seeds and stuff, so they think that's why he does it. I'm so sick of this guy. You have no idea that I got to sit there and watch this guy Saturday, and I pray to God that Houston gives them a game. I'm sure they'll find a way to win. They always do. I would keel over if they lose. I will. I mean, they're going to have to put me on oxygen.
6-0 with 16 touchdowns and no turnovers in the division round is what Mahomes is. So he's never lost in the division round. It's like you. I think for a variety of the reasons that you just laid out. I think they're always at home. They're always it's just most times on a bye. Now last year they weren't, but for most years they're on a bye when they come into this spot.
Right.
And they usually take care of business. And the opponent is usually in the division round inferior to them. So that's why they take advantage of these things. And we'll see if the Texans are going to be able to do that as well. So we'll go through all the games. I've got coaching stuff. I'm actually surprised. I have a lot of these interviews today and tomorrow are these assistants for these teams that are playing this weekend. Like, you're the Ravens. You really want Monken doing interviews tonight and tomorrow before this game on Sunday? Or the Texans guy, Slowick's interviewing with the Jets today? Like, what? This shouldn't be allowed. I know that they got to interview him at some point, but, I mean, these guys got big games this weekend. Can you not wait to interview them?
Yeah, I won't disagree with any of that. I also don't give a rat's ass. I really don't. There's so many interviews now with these coaches and teams that they all interview 12, 15 guys, and I just don't care. Let me know who you're hiring.
PGA too. We've got the Amex. I'll give you the updates on that as well.
The Quinta.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You can catch Sports Rage with Morency weeknights at 10 Eastern along all of our outlets on TV and radio. And you can catch him with us on Coast to Coast every day from Vancouver, British Columbia. A double shot, no less. Gabe, good to see you. Let's talk about Saturday. I want to talk about Stroud and the Texans, his chance against Mahomes. And I want to talk about Daniels and his chance against Goff and the Lions. I've heard a lot of people saying crazy stuff either way, that the Texans are going to get killed and that Daniels is going to find out the hard way on Saturday night. Yet I'm over here thinking that Texans defense is going to show up and that there's no way Daniels isn't throwing blows. I think he's going to go toe-to-toe with Goff.
Yeah, you know what? Let's start off with C.J. Stroud, Scott. And I think that one play, the broken play, the ball was snapped over his head. He had to run around and try to find the ball. Broken play. Stroud turns it into like a 30, 40-yard gain, first down, and then everything started to click for the Texans. They're not fully healthy, but now you got Nico Collins back. It's a massive difference, guys, for this Houston Texans offense. And quite frankly, the Texans are playing with house money. All the pressure's on the Kansas City Chiefs here, Scott, and I agree with you, something you just said there, and I brought it up on Sports Rage, actually. I said, all right, well, everyone's going to talk about the offenses of this, but if you look at the Houston Texans this year, Scott, like, you know, it's kind of like the Vancouver Canucks, to be honest with you. We were talking about the Canucks yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on this year. They're not really bad this year. They overachieved last year. So we all get this tendency, right? Oh, the Texans were really good. And, you know, in C.J. Stroud's first year, they're supposed to win 15 games now this year, right, Scott? No, they won their division. They're in the playoffs. They won a playoff game. They've done this 5 times before, guys, where they've won that home playoff game, and then they go and they lose. They've never gotten past this round. They've never made it to a conference championship before. But let's not forget, they were up 24-0 on the Chiefs a couple of years ago in the playoffs. They have played the Chiefs very tough, Scott. The Chiefs have a great defense. They give up 19 points a game. Texans only give up 21 points a game, guys. All right, the Texans defense is going to keep them in this football game. I think the point spread is too high. Now, I think it's wishful thinking, Scott, that, you know, Houston are going to beat them outright. But I think unless you're living in Kansas City or you're the bank robber Chief fan in jail right now, you're pulling for you're pulling for the Texans. Like, who likes the Chiefs? And I don't know, Taylor Swift fans, you know what I'm saying? I think we would all be like, awesome, the Chiefs are out, the Texans are in, and then the Texans would play the winner of the Bills and the Ravens. But I'm taking the point, Scott. I think they can hang around in this football game, and I think C.J. Stroud, like I said, they're kind of playing with house money. Nobody expects them to win this football game. I think they need to be aggressive, though. Don't play to lose. Don't play it safe. Get out there and, run a fake punt. Do something a little bit different.
Go for it, right? Like, wouldn't it be great, like you said, if they won? Like, I said I'd keel over. If they won the game, I would literally drop dead right there.
Did you hear, Scott? Sorry about keeling over.
No.
I don't know if Carver brought this up because he's a Notre Dame fan, but there's a guy online out there. He says he's going to do it. He's going to, have documents and stuff. He said he would chop his junk off if Notre Dame won the national championship.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
So he literally said, and he said this week he's going to go through it. He said, I'm a man of my word. I'm not playing around. I'm going to do it. And he's going to get like a surgically implanted, tool.
Package. Oh, God.
I got to believe he's going to back out. I got to believe he's going to. The guy said, he goes, listen, I don't have any kids. I got to have kids first. And I told my wife we need to accelerate the process. And I'm thinking, bro, you got to back out of this one. Like, don't just back out. Just come
do
out.
You think Notre Dame
give
give
$5,000 to charity and say, listen, I didn't do it, but here's $5,000 to charity. I'm not doing it.
Give it to the fire relief. Do you think that that Notre Dame can win the game Monday?
No, it's more like wishful thinking again, too. It's funny because I'm not Notre Dame's biggest fan, Scott, but next to Ohio State, I'd rather see Touchdown Jesus hoist the trophy here. I want to talk myself into it, and even with the point spread, I feel like I'm walking into a trap. I took Texas plus the points, Scott. I thought they could do it, and damn, they were on the freaking 1 yard line. Thanks, Sark. Thanks, Sark. You know what I'm saying? We had it, Scott. We had it. Like, they were going to cover the spread. Like, the game's going to go to overtime, whatever. They were right there.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing in Riley Leonard is going to be able to trade points with this Ohio State team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so what do you think of Jaden Daniels' chances at Ford Field?
This one, listen, I don't think Detroit are going to, quote-unquote, choke, right? So I don't think it's going to be a case like, and I don't think KC choked, but KC's offense isn't quite as, KC's going to find themselves in a sort of a closer game. Listen, Detroit are going to show up. They're going to do their thing. They're going to put points up on the board. They're going to be super aggressive. They're a load to deal with, Scott. Man, like with Jahmyr Gibbs right now, like just taking over at the running, Montgomery's great, but now that Gibbs is just the feature guy, he's unstoppable. Like, it's just next level. They have this new component to their game. But with all that being stated, I might be a fish here, Scott, but I'm getting hooked in. How the hell do I not take 9.5 points with the Washington Commanders? Jaden Daniels isn't your typical rookie. The kid's laid back. He's got ice in his veins. Dan Quinn, whatever, the guy's been in Super Bowls before. We also saw last week Quinn was very aggressive with Kingsbury, going for it all the time against Tampa. Like, they play to win. They're not like, they're a lot like Detroit. They're almost like Detroit light right now, Scott, this Washington team. They show up to win. They're not like, oh, we're going to punt. We're going to play it safe. They're like, no, we're going to go for it. We got Jaden Daniels. This is going to be a really fun game, Scott. I'm taking the points. I'm going to take the 9.5 with the Washington Commanders. Because even if they're getting lit up, that back door will still be open if we're down by, 17 late or 15 late or something like that.
I think Detroit's defense isn't all it's cranked up to be.
Well, they've had so many injuries, but they've been fierce, bro. I mean, we'll put it this way, and I agree with you. They showed some weaknesses, but they looked pretty good last week against the Minnesota Vikings, didn't they? They terrorized that team.
The Vikings looked terrible that day, and then they looked terrible against the Rams.
Well, the Rams have an elite defense, too. I think the Lions' defense, they find ways. That's why Aaron Glenn's such a hot property to be a head coach. He's found a way despite losing half of his defense.
Do you think he'll go to the Jets or the Saints?
Ugh.
The defending champion Kansas City Chiefs aim for an unprecedented third straight Super Bowl, but the Texans are ready to end the dynasty. Then the Commanders, fresh off their first playoff win since 2006, take on the high-powered offense of the Detroit Lions. Start your game day with pro football today at 10 a.m. for pregame betting. Then stay in the action with in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This Sunday, the Rams carry the weight of their city when they face the Eagles. Then it's a clash of MVP caliber quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. SportsGrid has you covered all day, starting at 8 a.m. with FST for daily fantasy lineups. Lock in your picks with Pro Football Today. And stay dialed in with real-time betting on in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
Talking to Morency and, Sports Rage, weeknights at 10. So I got to ask you, when you were living in Toronto and you first heard about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, did you go watch him play ever? And how did it all come to a head where this kid started becoming a star player and then all eyes were on him to head to the NBA? And did you ever think then that he would become the best player in the league, which is what he's become now?
No. And clearly, Scott, the Los Angeles Clippers did not either, right? I mean, let's just be real. He was part, sort of the post-Wiggins, post-Andrew Wiggins, right? Wiggins was kind of the one that was like the Canadian prodigy.
Right.
And so he took up a lot of the oxygen. And hell, you had the kid that was the number one pick. I can't believe I forget his name. He was that bad, in and out. Who was the kid with UNLV?
Oh,
remember
God.
that? You know what I'm talking about? There was like a number one pick.
Humavia? Matherin?
No, Ben Matherin's with the Pacers now. He's from Montreal too. He's a badass. But he's a badass. No, he was the UNLV Running Rebels. I was living in Vegas at the time. What the hell was his name? Anyways, it'll just randomly pop up. But no, SGA, Scott, was not in the pipeline of the next great one and stuff. Now, I should know, the Canadian media hypes up every young player up there. They're going to be this and that. So no, it caught everybody off guard. I mean, obviously they knew he was good. He went to Kentucky.
Anthony
Calipari,
Bennett. Is it Anthony Bennett?
Yes, sir. Anthony Bennett. There we go.
All right, so he really turned into a broken egg. But so what
Speaking
was
of
it?
forgettable,
When
Anthony
did you
Bennett,
first?
wow.
Yeah, when did you first hear about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? You were in Toronto, you were doing Sirius XM. When did you first hear about him? And then did you guys ever go watch him play?
No. Where did he play? He played for Kentucky, Scott, and he's not really from Toronto. He's from outside of Toronto. So, and
there was no crush of him in high school?
No, because where did he play high school? Let me see where he played. Where did he transfer to? None of these guys play, Scott. None None of these guys. None of these guys ever.
School.
Exactly. Bingo. Exactly. None of them ever really stay. You know who did stay actually, and same thing. There wasn't hype about him at the time. Scott was Steph Curry. People don't realize that Steph Curry actually grew up partially in Toronto. His father was on the Raptors. Steph Curry played a couple of years of high school basketball in Toronto, actually. So
really?
that was sort of known and stuff. And, dude, he was like a nobody. He wasn't even the best player on the team. You know what I mean? Like, I know people that played, on teams, against teams, et cetera, in high school with them. And they said, yeah, he could shoot then. He was just a skinny little kid. And it was like, yeah, his father played in the NBA, but it was like no one thought, Scott. Like, nobody thought, oh, this kid, you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, his dad's in the NBA. He's okay. He can shoot. But, he's just on the team type of deal. That's why he ended up in Davidson.
He played at St. Thomas More in Hamilton and then transferred to Sir Alan McNabb, which was the prep school, and then Hamilton Heights Christian Academy.
In Tennessee. Yeah, in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
So he, like every great kid I know now that plays, has moved on to a prep school from where they are in the area. So like kids from around here, I know two of them. One plays in the Ozarks and one plays up in up north of Boston in
same thing, Scott. Remember we were talking about Curtis Rourke, the quarterback of the Indiana Hoosiers. Right. Same thing, dude. The kid's from Ontario. Where did he play high school football? Tennessee. He's that good. Like, if you're that good, bro, you go to one of the prep schools, just point blank. You know what I mean? The level, it's not good enough for you, Scott. Like, if SGA is playing high school ball in the Toronto area, he's going to score 52 points a game. How does that help him?
Do you think he'll win tonight against the Cavs, and do you think he'll finish off the MVP and win it?
I think he is going to be MVP. And there's a big buzz. There's you need the buzz. You need to be likable. He's got it going on. You need to win the regular season games. And, Scott, remember, you and I, we were both on the Cavs when we played this game last week, right? Or 10 days ago, whatever. How do we not go with the Thunder this time, right? Point spread's even the same thing. Point spread's the same thing. And we took the over in that last game as well. And we're going to do it again. It's 233, Scott, but Thunder. No. Let's go with the Thunder tonight, Scott, in the over.
I love watching Angus Young play that song live in front of 100,000 people outdoors with him doing that leg kick. I mean, is there anything better than watching that guy still jam in his 70s a guitar and dance around a stage? I've never seen anything like it.
The defending champion Kansas City Chiefs aim for an unprecedented third straight Super Bowl. But the Texans are ready to end the dynasty. Then the Commanders, fresh off their first playoff win since 2006, take on the high-powered offense of the Detroit Lions. Start your game day with pro football today at 10 a.m. for pregame betting. Then stay in the action with in-game live game day. Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This Sunday, the Rams carry the weight of their city when they face the Eagles. Then it's a clash of MVP caliber quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. SportsGrid has you covered all day, starting at 8 a.m. with FST for daily fantasy lineups. Lock in your picks with Pro Football Today. And stay dialed in with real-time betting on in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
All right, Jeremy Kahn's our buddy from the Fan in Baltimore, and he's getting ready for the Ravens and Bills in Orchard Park on Sunday night, and I think everybody is. Jeremy, good to see you. I want to go back to when they were 2 down from the Steelers in the North. Did they ever flinch or think that – was there any vibe at all that they weren't going to win the division, like that they were in trouble?
Well, I knew the schedule set up well for them and how they finished, and looking at some of their opponents and the fact that they had the Steelers here at home, you felt like you just needed one break point. You know, you needed Kansas City to beat them, or who else they played in that stretch? It was all the good teams. Oh, the Eagles.
Cincinnati. And the Eagles.
So, like, you needed a little bit of help, but, I mean, they just fell apart. It was so strange to see. I mean, they went out with a whimper. They got it going in the third quarter a little bit last week, but – man, it was ugly.
Yeah, they were awful. I mean, the game was 21-0 at the half. The game was over. I don't, frankly, care what they did in the third quarter. You cannot go on the road in a playoff game in the National Football League, in my opinion, go down 21 and expect anything other than a loss.
Oh, it looked like guys in the secondary and even the linebacking core were making business decisions when Derrick Henry was running by them. I mean, there's so many still shots of Patrick Queen just looking over and watching him run down the field.
Oh, God, I can't tell you how painful it was for me. I went to the Bengal game. It was 10 below with the wind chill. I went with my son, and they lost that game too. And fans were, they were really violent and abusive toward Tomlin at that game. And then, of course, they get their ass beat by the Ravens, and then nothing happens to him at all. They didn't even consider firing Mike Tomlin. Are you surprised at all that he gets the Teflon Don treatment?
It is weird. I mean, look, he's been another version of Jeff Fisher, right? Where we talk about since that Super Bowl, it's been a lot of just above 500 seasons, right around there. I do think he's a really good coach. Maybe the message is growing stale in Pittsburgh. Maybe he just needs a fresh start somewhere else. But, we look at the history of the Steelers, and they just don't fire coaches.
So here you go to the Below Sunday night. Allegedly at kickoff, it's going to be around 5 degrees. He's never played in a game under 32 degrees, Lamar Jackson, or he's played in 2 and went 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, some of the numbers out there, I'm wondering where people are getting the information. I mean, we've had some cold days here in Baltimore that he's played in. I can't sit here and tell you what the degrees were at the time of kickoff or whatever, but I think he'll be fine. He doesn't like the cold weather. I don't think there's, look, he's a Florida kid. Of course he's not going to like the cold weather, but that running game is going to travel. So when you start looking at things, if it is really windy and cold, I'll take that Ravens running game over anything else in this league.
You don't think that even Henry will have a problem if it's 5 degrees outside getting popped and running the football a lot in that kind of freezing cold? I mean, that to me just sounds painful, getting hit in that kind of weather.
Do you want to hit Derrick Henry in that weather? I mean, so I can look at it the other way too. Somebody has to, but I mean, when you look at the Ravens, honestly, comparatively speaking to the Bills, they're an amazing team, had this incredible season. The Ravens fullback is bigger than almost the entire front seven. So, like, it is a mismatch. And if they want to go jumbo and try to run the ball, I think it's just playing right into the Ravens' hands.
So you're not surprised at all that they're favored to win the game?
Not at all. I mean, look, this isn't some homer call. I thought the Ravens were the best team in football last year, and I think they really showed it, and then had the hiccup in the AFC Championship, and Pat Mahomes took advantage of everything that they gave him. And then you come back this year, and it's been a really weird season. At one point, they had lost 5 games. In those 5 games, they lost by 22 points. And in those said 5 games, Justin Tucker missed 22 points worth of kicks. So it's been a really weird season, but I think the defense, since the switch at safety, has been lights out. They've been a top 5 defense in the league. And this offense is definitely a top 5 offense.
So you think that the defense that wasn't there all year suddenly is there now?
I think there were some wholesale changes on the back end. They moved Kyle Hamilton back. Darius Washington, he's small, but, I mean, watch him play. Like, if you're not a Ravens fan and you don't hate the Ravens for any specific reason, watch the little guy on the back end just laying people out and all over the place. He's the guy that broke up the 2-point conversion to win the game. I mean, he's done so much when you look at his body of work since they put him out there. And what they had out there before were a couple of vets who, I mean, one looked like he didn't want to tackle and one looked like he didn't know where he was.
Do you think Lamar's going to win another MVP here?
Yeah, look, if the guys voting on All-Pro are voting for the MVP as well, and I think there's a lot of similarities there, I think he's definitely winning. Look, I think Josh Allen has had one of the most amazing seasons I've seen from a quarterback in a long time. I just think it's a shame that it's in the same season watching Lamar, because if you look at Lamar's numbers, look at how far he's throwing the ball downfield with that completion percentage. The 4 interceptions he has, you could make a case they were all the receiver's fault. I'm not doing that, but this has been one of the best seasons I've ever seen from a quarterback. I have no issue if Josh Allen wins it, but I do think Lamar's having a better season.
So, Zay Flowers' knee, is he going to be in this game or not? Would you expect him in the title game, but not this game?
Yeah, you know what's weird is that they were talking on a national level. Some of the reporters were saying they heard he might play this weekend. The way we think it sounds is that you're not going to see him for the rest of the playoffs. But, I mean, they're being so ho-hum on that. Nobody really knows except Zay and the team. Nothing's leaked out quite yet. I don't expect him this weekend, honestly, but if he shows up, we got to see if he can do – look, that's a guy that's very shifty and quick. And if you have a knee issue, are you at 100%? Are you at 70 if you're playing?
So it becomes Bateman, Andrews, Likely. Those are the primaries?
Yeah, and I think you'll see some Nelson Aguilar out there as well as they start to go with, you know, their 4 set. And you'll see a little bit more Likely. We expected him to kind of pick up some of that, those opportunities out there. And if you watch that play last week, I mean, there were 2 phenomenal stiff arms. His might have been better than Derrick Henry's.
So the Buffalo Bills, they don't lose in freezing cold weather. I mean, they're 14-2 when it's the type of weather that you're going to see on Sunday night on CBS at 6:30. What worries you about this football team? They're no joke.
No, I think the Buffalo Bills are fantastic. I just think the Ravens are a horrible matchup for them. I said it back in week 4 that, you know, I thought this was going to be a blowout on the Ravens end. And granted, they were at home. I think there's a lot of things in favor of the Bills. When you talk about the weather, being at home, Josh Allen, that strong arm, can throw through anything. And he's a difference maker. But I think Josh is going to have to be absolutely special on Sunday night for the Bills to win this game.
You think they're both going to start taking off again and running? You think Lamar's going to run a lot and Allen as well?
Yeah, you have to expect it because, look, when you look at the Ravens front, I think Josh is going to have to get readily involved to try to keep some of that pressure off of Cook. And I think sometimes when the play breaks down, it's going to be his best option. The same thing with Lamar. I mean, that mesh point that you get between he and Derrick Henry's belly, there's a still shot of 3 Steelers following Lamar as Derrick Henry runs on that long touchdown run. So I think both of the quarterbacks are going to be running quite a bit, and Lamar's looked really good.
So you feel that Kansas City's going to win and that the Ravens are going to end up going to Arrowhead?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked, and I know everybody's told me I'm crazy, if the Ravens end up a favorite in Arrowhead by the time all the money's coming in.
Wow, so you think they'll be favored in Kansas City. Do you think they'll be haunted by the Kansas City Chiefs? They were last year. Do you think they'll get kryptonited again?
I mean, that's been it's been their devil, right? They can't get past this this thing that's just sitting there. And when you look at what Pat Mahomes has done, I mean, you're always saying, did I leave him too much time? Did I leave him too much time? So, yeah, Lamar wants to exercise some of these demons, and he's been talking about it, and I think this is the year that they finally get it done.
Well, I mean, they had their chance. They were in the Charm City at the bank with them right on their fingertips and got their ass beat. Now they have to go there and do it. I think it's even harder at Arrowhead.
Oh, there's no question. It's going to be loud, crazy. Taylor Swift will be there, so – we're going to have a lot of interesting things if they do play in Arrowhead, but they got to get past the Bills first.
All right, well, it should be a great game on Sunday night in Orchard Park at the B-Lo between the Ravens and the Bills. Jeremy Kahn, always good to see you, buddy. Say hi to everybody in Baltimore. Good luck with your team on Sunday night. Thanks for coming on Coast to Coast.
Thanks, man.
The defending champion Kansas City Chiefs aim for an unprecedented third straight Super Bowl. But the Texans are ready to end the dynasty. Then the Commanders, fresh off their first playoff win since 2006, take on the high-powered offense of the Detroit Lions. Start your game day with pro football today at 10 a.m. for pregame betting. Then stay in the action with in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This Sunday, the Rams carry the weight of their city when they face the Eagles. Then it's a clash of MVP caliber quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. SportsGrid has you covered all day, starting at 8 a.m. with FST for daily fantasy lineups. Lock in your picks with Pro Football Today. And stay dialed in with real-time betting on in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
So I've always been friends with Jeremy, and I know that my agent represents him and all the rest, and in his career and all the rest, and I still hate the Ravens. It takes so much out of me to sit there and talk to him about the Ravens. Honestly, how much I hate them. And I'm sitting here talking about them as if I was, in the locker room or something, getting ready for the game. Listen, I don't see it the way he does in terms of I basically said at the end there, Mike, that if they go to Arrowhead, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. Just like Buffalo goes there and loses in the playoffs. It's simple. That guy doesn't lose home playoff games. It's simple. It's real simple. And then he went there and beat their ass. He dominated that game.
You can't really go against him and see him actually lose. It's very hard to go against him. And it's going to be tough no matter who wins this game on Sunday, whether it's Allen or Lamar, they're in for it when they go to Arrowhead the following week. They've both had some bites at the apple, some attempts of doing it. I mean, Lamar's really only had one, which was last year, and he had it at home. We know that Allen's had multiple cracks at the Chiefs over the past 4 years. But like I said, I got to get through this first. And you listen to Jeremy, and Jeremy, I think, gave the Bills a little bit more, I guess, respect than some people I've heard giving the Bills out of Baltimore this week. They're giving the Bills no shot to win this game against the Ravens.
I don't think he is
no
either.
shot.
He just says they're a really good team,
Yeah.
and we're gonna beat them because we're a matchup problem for them. And he acts to me like the cold's not a factor at all. I'm telling you, there is no such thing as it's not a factor when it's 5 degrees. I was at a game, it was 10 below with the wind chill, and it was brutal. I mean, you couldn't even barely breathe, let alone take a hit in an NFL game. I was sitting there going oh my God, I'm miserable. My nose was just gushing. I had icicles on my face. It was awful. I've been at freezing cold games. They changed the game. I mean, I'll go right now. That's going under. Right now. I'm betting the under right now. I don't care who's playing.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. Lamar said it. He don't like it. He don't like the cold weather.
Good.
This is a different type of cold weather than he's played in. It just is. Like we've talked about this, and people might think it doesn't matter, and that's fine. Like 25 is cold. I don't disagree. 5 is it's like a whole another world when you're out there. And if you're a guy who doesn't like it, and you've never played in one that cold before, you can't tell me it's not going to matter at all. It's just going to matter, just doesn't matter whatsoever. Nobody's going to care. I just don't believe that whatsoever for Lamar Jackson. What do we have here? I'll give you the Lamar stuff that Maf just sent in a moment here, Sky. Let me give you a couple of things since we're talking about the cold. Here he is talking about the cold. He says, what can you do? You just got to be as ready for it as you possibly can.
Hopefully we have some heaters on the sideline. Bigger jacket, probably. I got to talk to Kaneko to see what he got going on. Equipment guys, they pretty much do a great job, though, so we should be good.
But you don't do gloves under any circumstances.
No. I tried it in practice. I was horrible. Leave that up to Teddy, two gloves, Teddy Bridgewater.
It seems like you do handle the cold weather pretty well. I mean, being a Florida guy and everything.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to win, so it really don't matter. I can't go into a game and be like, man, it's too cold. I can't make things happen. Coach them probably send me home. Eric them would be probably trying to come, have me go upstairs and talk to him and stuff. So I got to lock in the cold.
Lock in the cold.
He don't like it.
I like the guy. I just hate the Ravens. I can't get over it. I'm in a conundrum. I get a kick out of the kid. I think it's great. Now, Mafia sent me a thing about he's 28 years old. Every quarterback that's ever 28 wins the Super Bowl.
I saw this nonsense the other day. Every 12 years with a 28-year-old quarterback, and the sundial can go to the left, and it'll be temperature. Whatever. I don't care about it. This stuff is what it is. If you're gonna tell me lightning's gonna strike 3 times the same exact way, fine. Then I'll win. He's gonna beat Allen. He's gonna beat Mahomes. He's gonna beat the Lions. He's gonna beat everybody.
I still think they're losing Sunday. I think the Bills will beat them. I think the Bills will win in Buffalo, and then that'll be that. And then we'll discuss what's gonna happen after that.
I'm not talking about next week till we get through it. Here's McDermott. He doesn't want to talk about anything. He knows he's got a big problem, and that's the guy we were just listening to, Lamar Jackson.
There's only one Lamar Jackson at the end of the day. So you do the best you can to try and simulate it. Good luck.
Yeah, listen.
Good luck. Yeah, you ain't kidding.
You know what's funny is that, look, I've seen the Steelers beat him a bunch of times. So, and don't even tell me I'm wrong. No team has beat him like the Steelers. Now, I know they lost to him in the playoffs, and they lost to him 34-17, and there's no doubt that he beat him. The Steelers sucked in December, okay? They fell apart like a toy. Okay, so I've seen him lose. And you know what? When you're going up against a guy that's just as good as you, I think Josh Allen's just as good. I mean, in his own way, he is just as good. That guy, Josh Allen, is a killer. He is a killer. And I'm telling you, look, what happened last year when the invincible Lamar Jackson took on a killer in Mahomes? He lost. So when you take on another killer, you might find yourself on the other end of things, like on the losing end. I'm telling you, you think this is so automatic because they have Lamar Jackson. I say my ass. They got Josh Allen. I don't care who wins these stupid awards. I care who wins the game. There you go. Let's see what happens Sunday night.
Look, and Allen has this isn't getting talked about. Allen's beaten him in the playoffs already. Ravens came to Buffalo 4 years ago, and Lamar Jackson scored 3 points that night. I mean, I get it. Different teams, blah, 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 blah. They had McDermott's deep. They figured him out in the past. And
let's see him score in 5-degree weather when his hands, I'm promising you, he is going to be on the sideline like a little girl with his hands by the heater every single time he doesn't have that ball because he's going to be freezing ass. You understand what hypothermia is? He's going to be frozen ass. His hands are frozen all night long.
The defending champion Kansas City Chiefs aim for an unprecedented third straight Super Bowl, but the Texans are ready to end the dynasty. Then the Commanders, fresh off their first playoff win since 2006, take on the high-powered offense of the Detroit Lions. Start your game day with pro football today at 10 a.m. for pregame betting. Then stay in the action with in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This Sunday, the Rams carry the weight of their city when they face the Eagles. Then it's a clash of MVP caliber quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. SportsGrid has you covered all day, starting at 8 a.m. with FST for daily fantasy lineups. Lock in your picks with Pro Football Today and stay dialed in with real-time betting on in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
I hope the Bills win 12-10 and Tucker misses a 40-yard field goal to win the game with the wind whipping and 5 degrees and his toe falls off. I mean it.
12-10, 20-10, 38-35, 40, I don't care what it is.
I don't want 38-35. I bet the under. Now, come on.
I think it's going to be under 2. Ravens have 6 All-Pros on their team. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Patrick Ricard, Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey. The Bills have 1, Josh Allen. That's been thrown around a lot this week. Allen's the only quarterback in NFL history to be named to the All-Pro team over the last 15 years without a teammate on the All-Pro team.
Yawn. Who cares?
It is what it is. The Ravens claimed, remember we did this Deontay Johnson stuff the other day. So the Ravens reclaimed him, but they can't play him. They're not going to play him. It's just so that they can get a pick if someone signs him in the offseason. I don't know who the hell would want to sign him with the way that he's been going this year. He's been on 5 teams in the last calendar year, but we shall see. Ravens minus 1.5, 51.5. The total for Sunday. We'll do one final leg of this tomorrow. I've been saving Josh Allen for you for tomorrow and all these other guys. So we'll do that.
How many times am I going to say it? Give me the Bills in the under.
Bills in the under. Let's go,
I'm not
baby.
betting on the Ravens.
Freeze them up.
I'll tell you another thing. If the Ravens win, they're going to lose in Arrowhead. I'll just throw that out early.
Sure. I would. It's very rare you can have me root for the Chiefs, but almost impossible to be quite honest with you. But if the Ravens beat them this week, I might just do that next week. You never know. It could happen. So there you go. Bills, Ravens, I'm excited. The Rams and the Eagles, of course, will be in Philadelphia on Sunday. They played earlier this year. I gave you those numbers the other day. Barkley tuned them up for almost 2 bills and 2 tutties. Nick Sirianni knows the Rams are obviously going to be key.
He ran for 255 in that game.
255, and he caught 50. He had 50 receiving in that game with the 2 tutties. Here's Sirianni knows that they're going to look to shut him down.
We know that everyone's going to account for that, and that's not new to us. Again, they'll see stuff on tape that they'll want to do differently and that they'll want to repeat, and we'll see stuff on tape that we'll want to do differently and we'll want to repeat. I know that'll be a big film that they watch. It's obviously a big film that we'll watch.
Wow, this is really informative.
it's not uncommon, right? We know that we're going to get people's best effort to stop Saquon, and that's just been what we've dealt with all year.
I'll give you this, that I think the Rams defense is absolutely peaking right now with the way they're playing and their confidence. Like they are sky high. I mean, what they did to the Vikings was humiliating. And so I'm sure they think that they're going in there and they're going to stop him and they're going to shut down Hurts. That's their plan. And I'll tell you one thing. I think that, flat out, Stafford's a better quarterback than Hurts. So, and the Rams have great receivers. So I'm telling you, they got their hands full on Sunday. That's automatic. Sunday afternoon, you're going to see they're going to have a problem on their hands.
Still 6.5 for the Eagles and the Rams on Sunday, with the 44.5 for the total. Now, we've talked a lot about the weather for Buffalo and Baltimore. I should let you know, weather is probably going to be a factor in this game as well, out in Philadelphia for this week. Right now for Sunday, low 30s, snow likely in the afternoon starting right about kickoff. Winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, snow around an inch, 90% chance. So you're going to get some snow for the Eagles and the Rams on Sunday.
Well, look, I think Kyron Williams can flat out play as well. I think Barkley's better, but I think Williams can flat out play, and whoever turns the ball over is going to lose the game. If it turns into Slippery Jones with a snowstorm on the footing and on possession with the ball in your hands, then it's anybody's game then. If it's Slippery Jones, then I'm all for that 6.5. I'm for the 6.5 anyway.
Just remember this for everyone who does the whole, the Rams, West Coast team, L.A., SoFi, playing a dome. Kyron Williams played his college ball at Notre Dame, South Bend. He's played outside. Cooper Kupp went to Eastern Washington. Puka Shells went to BYU. These are not the Bahamas that these guys played college ball, and they've been in cold games and seen snow before in their lives. They'll be up to the task for this game on Sunday. As far as
I went to the 10 below game. I mean, no one's afraid of it. Let's go.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.